Audience, I'm super excited because coming up next is TG Sheppard and his songs. This is kind of an alphabetical order from Wikipedia, just some of them. Devil in the Bottle, Do You Want to Go to Heaven, Don't Ya, Faking Love, finally TG Sheppard Song, Fooled Around and Fell in Love. I mean, it goes on and on. There's like 14 number one hits, you know, it goes on and on and on. And anyway, I'm excited because he's here with us. Hold on just a second, I'm going to bring him in. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, there you are. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Welcome to the show. I'm so thrilled to have you with us today.
Well, thank you. My wife, Kelly, was telling me she had a great visit with you, so I'm honored to be on here with you too, Donna.
Oh, thank you so much. I was going through a Wikipedia list, no kidding, of all of these songs. Like when you have so many number one songs, are they each like little babies to you?
Well, yeah, they are. I mean, and some of them grow up to make you very happy and proud, and some don't. We were very fortunate. We had 14 number ones in a row. We had 21 number ones total in our career. And, but yeah, they're all like children. And they all very special places in my life and very special memories.
Here you are. You're right there. Like you are an icon in your industry and people look up to you. They cherish everything that you've given of yourself and you're not done yet. I mean, you're still doing your thing, which is so exciting. Kelly, when I did talk to her, she told me that she wrote a song with you about you being a good man.
Well, Kelly's written a lot of great songs for a lot of great artists like Jerry Lee Lewis and George Jones and the Oak Ridge Boys and Crystal Gale and Lori Morgan. I mean, you name it. She's written songs for them. She wrote a song called Good Man on my new album, and my new album is called Midnight in Memphis. It's my first country solo album in 22 years.
Wow.
And so from that album is a song, Good Man, which she wrote, and that'll be our next single. And I was really kind of touched by the fact that she really and truly feels the way the song says. I mean, how, you know, her feeling for me is really touching. And it says it all in the song Good Man. So, yeah, I was excited to have her write that song on the album.
How did you first fall in love with one another? What was your love story?
Oh, wow. I've known Kelly since she was a kid. She was in her teens, and she was opening up shows for me on the road. Lee Greenwood and I and Mickey Gilley and I were on the road, and Kelly was out there and just tearing it up on the charts at the time. And she was just... I don't know. There wasn't a time that I can't remember her being in my life. And, you know, we both married in life and then we both divorced and then we found each other late in life. And it was, it's one of the greatest decisions I ever made in my life was to marry Kelly. She brings such life to my life and made me realize that the biggest part of my life was in front of me and not behind me. She is truly a gifted, talented, wonderful woman, and I'm honored to call her my wife.
I love that. I so love that. When you first started on the scene, what were those early days like, and how did you realize that this was going to be your path, your journey, that this was going to be you?
Well, I was a runaway at the age of 15. I ran away from my home in Humboldt, Tennessee, and hitchhiked to Memphis. And I knew then that I wanted music as a career, and my father was very strict, and it wasn't going to happen as long as I was living under his roof. So I don't encourage anyone to chase their dreams by running away from home, but I did, and I got lucky, and I found my dream, and God let me have it. When I got to Memphis at the age of 15, I was skating at a skating rink late one night, and 3 Cadillacs pull up, and a guy gets out from behind the wheel of the lead car and walks over to me and asked me to join them in the roller rink. And of course, that person was Elvis Presley. And we became very, very dear friends and remained close friends until the day he passed. So that had a big impact on my life. But I've always known that I wanted to do what I do for a living. And I've had a chance to live my dream.
I knew that you were friends with Elvis. I had done some research, and you know he had that Cadillac that had like diamond dust in the finish. I mean, and that was some fancy car that he had. It had like a little television monitor in the back. You know which vehicle I'm referring to?
Oh,
And,
I know exactly the vehicle you're talking to. Elvis was quite the car guy anyway.
okay.
He gave a lot of cars away. He gave Cadillacs away to everybody. But he gave me a tour bus. I mean, he gave me my first tour bus to get me
Wow.
started in the business. And people ask me a lot of times, what's the greatest gift Elvis ever gave you? The bus was a great gift, but what the bus gave me was confidence, knowing that if he believed in me enough, I couldn't disappoint him. I had to work extra hard to make it. So he gave me the gift of confidence.
I love that. Your songwriting abilities, your performing and things like that. Where does the inspiration come from some of them? I mean, because you were on a crazy streak. I mean, just, it's almost
Well,
like you could do no wrong.
songs really and truly come just as sometimes in the middle of the night or when you wake up in the morning or driving down the road in the car. I've written number one songs, but most of my biggest number ones were written by other writers who really and truly are the tunesmiths, the song crafters. They do it day in and day out. I travel a lot touring constantly still. And so touring has always taken a precedent over songwriting. But I've been very blessed to have had a lot of number one records, but some I've written and some other people have written too.
And for you, when you're collaborating with someone, in fact, one of my high school friends, Paul Stevens, lives down in
Yeah.
Nashville, and he's a songwriter, and he's been
Yeah.
living there for a really long time. But when you're collaborating and you're working with someone, which comes first, like the melody, the lyrics, the style that you bring to it? What's the process?
Well, it's different on different songs. On some songs, Donna, the lyrics come first. You have the idea for the song, you go in and you put a melody with it. But then again, a riff will come along, a musical riff will come along that encourages you to write a lyric for it. So really and truly, lyrics can come first and the melodies can come first. But the magic happens is when you are able to combine the two together to get the song. At the very end, you always know if you have magic or not. You can always tell that you've written something great.
Speaking of magic, when you're at home and you're like laying in your bed and you're looking up at the ceiling, are there songs that you kind of like sing in your head? Or like when you're like, you know, cutting the grass, maybe you don't even cut your own grass, but I know for me, like when I'm doing like those simple things in life, I'm singing. So what do you sing in your head of your songs?
You know what? I don't really sing a lot of my songs. There is one or two of mine. Do you want to go to
Okay.
heaven? And I loved them everyone. Or two songs that were number one songs, and they kind of go through my head. But songs of other artists go through my head too.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a connoisseur of music. I love music. I love great music. I love great songs. I love great artists. But I have been afforded the luxury of having some of the greatest people in the world as dear friends, like Barry Gibb. I mean, jive talking, jive talking. I mean, that goes through my head a lot. How do
Me
you mend
too.
a broken heart? How do
Oh,
you
yes.
mend a broken heart? I mean, all those songs go through your head. A lot of times it's just dear friends' songs, not necessarily my own, that go through my head.
And even though I haven't met him personally yet, I feel like he's my friend too. And I think that between performers and their audience and their fans, it really does feel like a friendship, because when you hear a song, it just kind of fills your soul. It just resonates with you. It helps you through a bad day or a bad breakup. And that's the thing I love about country, because country songs always tell a story.
Well, the magic of music is the fact that it can alter a person's life. And people ask me all the time, what do you want to be known for when it's all said and done, when it's all over? I want to be known for the person that was able to make a difference in someone's life with a song, if for just a few minutes at a time. Yeah, I mean, you can be having the worst day of your life, but a great song can come along and lift your spirits. You can be having the greatest day in your life and hear a sad song and it brings you down. So music is magic. It's the universal language. It's the one thing that everyone in the world can relate to. And so those great songs, when they do come, if you can relate to them, that's what makes the big hits.
Speaking of big hits, you are a hit with the Heroes. You're very patriotic. Can we talk a little bit about that and about your big heart and how that resonates with you?
Well, you know, we're so blessed to live in a country to where our men and women are in service who give so much to our country so that we can live the life that we live. Not necessarily just in military, but I mean our providers who work day in and day out, the firemen, the policemen, the people, the caretakers who take care of the ill and who are working so feverishly with COVID right now. We owe so much to these people who are public servants who really and truly make our lives so much easier. So yes, I'm very patriotic. I hold very high esteem for our men and women who serve our great country.
I do as well. I grew up singing in a patriotic singing group called the Futures of America out of Florissant, Missouri. And
Really?
yeah, and from the time I was 12 to the time I was 23, and it matters to me. And that's one of the reasons I also wanted to have you on the show, is that there's a way that performers can, like you said, change the world, whether it's for 3 minutes, however long, just by doing what we have. And sometimes people can serve with their time, their talent, or their treasure. And I feel like you've really served others with your talent. And it's just so cool to be able to sit here and talk with you and share a little bit of your journey, you know, because a lot of times when you do talk shows, I'm sure they ask you the same exact questions. And so this time I decided to just have a conversation with you, and I cannot thank you enough.
I want to pay you a great compliment. You know, there are people that do interviews, and then there are people who do conversations, okay? The true great people, interviewers, are the ones that master the art of conversation. And you, my friend, have mastered it. Talking with you is not an interview. It's just a conversation between two people. People can feel that when they see and hear us right now. You know, I'm very blessed to have a radio show on SiriusXM radio, the TG Sheppard Show, every Friday on the Elvis radio channel 75. And I get a chance to interview a lot of people myself. And I find that if I can just have a great conversation with someone, it makes for a great interview. In my conversation with you today, I have just thoroughly enjoyed our time together.
Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled by your words. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
You're so welcome.
And I hope maybe someday we can dine on some hot wings down in Nashville together.
You got it. You come. I'll be ready for you. I'll pick up the tab.
Thank you so much, TG Sheppard. Thank you. Happy journeys to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much. Be well. Bye-bye.